you comfortable hunching over like that? I would say make it a little bit higher if you can, but if you
I
can't,
did. I
no, just like, do you have books? Like, put books under the computer.
I put like 7 towels under it right now. And my computer's gonna die, and I'm gonna have to fix it during it. Like this.
Perfect.
Okay.
Haircut?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Oh wait, I want to ask you about your date too. We'll do that offline.
Come on, man. You
Oh,
already did. You just did it online.
yeah. Okay. Um.
Hold on. I'm just gonna bring my headphones over here just in case I need them at some point. Crotch shot.
Okay. Are you feeling comfortable after assuming 17 different positions?
Come on, man. I feel good now. I'm good for you.
Okay, good. Okay, welcome back to the podcast. You're back. You're I think you're the only returning guest.
Yeah, man. I'm happy to be here, man. I'm glad. It's gonna be fun. Talk about whatever you want. We're gonna go on the fly.
On the
No
fly.
preparation.
No preparation, conversational and amazing. So the first time you came on was almost a year ago.
Almost 2 years ago.
No, wasn't it last?
No, it was two. It was 2 Christmases ago.
Oh,
When we were,
really?
yeah, because we didn't do it last Christmas.
Oh,
Yeah, when I saw you.
well, a lot's gone down then. So bring us
Yeah,
up to speed. So you, I'm just like looking back because I can't believe that's true, but I believe you, but that's crazy.
yeah. I remember like vaguely some stuff that we talked about.
No, it's 2022. 2022. It debuted January 4th, 2022.
Right. So we did it in
All
2021.
right. Okay, so we're done school soon. Last time we talked, you were like in the midst.
Yeah. Yeah. Should be getting done in the spring, summer.
with a
Time in
degree,
like yeah, May, June, July range.
with a
Um,
degree in.
Exercise physiology, PhD, exercise physiology.
And tell the people what you're trying to do, what you want to do. What do you want to do?
Um, I don't like. I have like ideas. Traditionally, like there's like a bunch of different like routes you could take. Like there's like the traditional. You go work at a school, a college, a university, something like that, and teach and do research. But I don't really want to do that personally. I kind of want to go into like industry, which is like just as an example, like companies like Nike, New Balance, Gatorade, like Puma, they do a lot of like athlete testing, physiology monitoring. Like there's a lot of like biotech companies that make like wearable devices that might need someone who knows about the human body and exercise. Um, so that's an option. There's also places like in the government, so like the Army, the Navy, NASA. Um, I
So,
mean, yeah. So those are like places that hire people like me. And then there's also like some other jobs I've been looking into, like just kind of like writing jobs. Like I enjoy writing. Um, I wouldn't mind trying like a remote job out for a bit. Um, but I really like working with athletes, doing athlete testing. So like sports teams is also an option. And like what that means is like essentially someone would. It's sort of like I do at UConn a lot. Like people will come in. Let's say it's a runner, and they're prepping for like a marathon or something like that, and they come in and get tested. So we run them through like a battery of tests depending on what they want to know, and then that can help kind of like inform their training, and kind of guide like where their weaknesses are, how they can fuel during race or a competition. Um, so I like that a lot. So not the traditional college professor route. I don't really think I want to do. It's just not
Yeah.
really my thing. I don't really like the vibe. Um,
I feel like you'd be better doing something like in
yeah,
Indian.
yeah, and I just think I don't really fit in well in
Why?
the academic environment. I don't know. It's just the personalities.
Stuffy?
No, they're all like good people. Like I don't. Um, yeah, it's just
It's
and
not your
like I'm not
vibe.
saying that's everywhere. It's just not what you know I'm accustomed to. But I'm definitely glad I've done it. Like I don't regret it.
Yeah,
Super cool. It's been a cool experience. But yeah, I just want to try something different for a little bit and then see what happens.
for sure.
So yeah, a little long-winded answer. So I don't really have like a specific job that I want, but there's some options that are
Keeping your options open.
mainly though. I just really like to exercise. Like that is like the one thing that I just really like to do the most in life. Um, so I feel like if I was more gifted genetically, I would be a great pro athlete because I love to just train.
Why
Like
do you think that you aren't gifted? Like, why do you think you couldn't?
I mean, like the time has passed for me to make a lot of money being an athlete.
Well, depends on the sport.
Yeah,
You're a
I
great
guess I
bowler,
could go.
Sean.
I guess I could go like do like a equestrian maybe and pick that
Bowling,
up.
equestrian. You could be
But
a
I'm saying like the sports that I would want to do. Um,
right.
yeah, or just like training. So I would like a job where that.
You could be. What if like, but like basketball players, they play into their 40s. Like you,
Yeah, but
you have a good decade. You could if you went to like
yeah,
an
but Kyle, stop. I didn't even play college basketball. I can't just go try out for the NBA. Like
skill is skill.
let's just call a spade a spade. I'm, you know,
All
a
right,
6 foot Caucasian male. Chances are
there
I
are.
I would need to compensate for that by something extraordinary. But yeah, yeah, I just like to train. So some way I can work with sports and athletes and just help them train, and then just kind of be involved with it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just love sports and training, and then secondarily, I like the science behind it, kind of like how to explain everything. Like, why does this happen? Why does that happen? Like, why are you experiencing this? Like, why aren't you getting faster? All that kind of stuff.
right. Which and you're very smart. You've become smart in life. Um, you work really
Become
hard.
smart. Not always.
Well, I think you've applied yourself a lot more in the past 7 years ish.
Yeah, I
But
think everybody's smart, man. They just don't know it.
everyone has the potential, maybe. No, I don't think everyone's smart.
Yeah, you're right. Me either. But
But
yeah, everyone can
but
be like. I just think there's different types of smart. Like if you look at someone who's like a mechanic, like a really good mechanic, like I consider them like very smart. You
mm,
know, whereas like I guess the majority of people like wouldn't think of like smart people and then like think of like
right.
that kind of job. But like they are smart. They just apply it in a different way. You know.
Yeah. Well, and just going back to like your interest and intelligence and physical performance, all of that has kind of dovetailed nicely into the Hamptons to Hollywood fitness program, which you are the driving force behind, we'll say.
Yeah.
So we have a couple clients that we have worked with, that you've worked with, I'll say you, but and because last time we spoke, we were launching it,
Right.
and now we are 2 years, according to your math,
True.
uh, into it, and we've had multiple clients, and so like, what I want to hear like what's been your experience with it?
I think it's cool. Like I like the experience I get with it. Yeah, I enjoy it. Like the people seem to like it. Um, and it's like it makes you think a lot because everyone wants like a different thing.
Mm,
Like, like there's one guy who's a runner, um, someone like you who doesn't like to run at all, which is fine, but it's like I like every Sunday or whatever when I go do like I kind of have to just like switch gears when I'm doing every person's thing and like tailor it to their specific
once.
wants and needs, and then like
But what also you recommend?
yeah, for sure. Um,
But that's why it's
but
so cool because it's like both.
yeah,
They're
but like at
getting
the end of the right, like I'll be like, I think this is an important thing that you should do, like squatting or something. But if someone like really just hates squatting, like I'm not gonna, like there's other things you can do. Like if you hate to run, like there's other ways to get the benefit of that, like cycling or
I will say that I got new running shoes per your recommendation, and I thought about going on a run today to really. I mean, I've been going to the gym in them, but like really to test them out.
you should. A
Well,
little jog.
we'll see. Little jog around town, whatever.
This is a mile.
um,
Like I definitely learned stuff for
like
sure.
what? Like what?
Um, like I think like working with people, you get like a understanding of like so like you can go read about training and how to program something and like you'll get these textbook definitions of things and then it's like you get a person that for whatever reason like you can't do that for that person and you have to like modify it on the fly. So it's just good to get that like real world
Mm,
experience. Because like not everything is just like textbook, like applying. Like you can't just take like research and apply it directly to a person because research is like imperfect and there's no research studies on like a individual. It's usually an average of people, and the studies might be 6 weeks long or like a year at most. But like you're working with someone for multiple years, so it's never. So yeah, like I learned just how different people um, react and just like how to like tailor things to what they enjoy. Because like the main thing is like getting people to be consistent. Like unless you're like a pro athlete, like if you want to be the best 5K runner in the world and you're like I don't want to run more than 20 miles a week, like then I'd be like, well, then you don't want to be the best 5K runner in the world.
mm,
Like there's some things it's like you have to run a lot to be good at that thing. But like for the majority of people that we work with, there's nothing that is like you have to do this thing. You can always kind of modify and yeah, just learn like different preferences and how people respond to different trainings and training loads and
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like it's hard to say like an exact thing I've learned, but I think it's just
No,
the
yeah, general.
interaction. Yeah.
And it's all, I mean, so now like summer is kind of like past, which a lot of people like try and work out to get like summer bodies and the whole thing.
Right.
Right. When it's like really you should be doing, to your point about consistency, be doing this like year round. But now is actually a really good time if you are interested in joining the Hamptons Hollywood Fitness Program because it's like you'll have let's say you start in October 1st and then or November whatever and then you have like 6-ish months of building and consistency and
Yeah.
you know fitness acumen before June when you can when those results will be like shown in a really great way. So it's
Yeah.
always like the off season is really important for training.
Yeah. And like the biggest thing is just like the consistency. It's just like investing. Like it just compounds over time.
Mm,
Like I'll give you an example. Like for distance running, like for the marathon, the majority of these guys like are peaking in their like mid to late 30s. Like a
wow.
lot of them. Like if you look at the best one, the guy like in history, he's like 38 right now. They're 39, and he's getting better as he gets older. And like the idea is that there's some adaptations that take place that you like it takes like 10 years to kind of capitalize on that. So yeah, like you can make a lot of gains in 6 months or a year, but it's more so just like there is a component that's very like additive. So like if you yeah, it's just like the more time that you have in the game, like the harder it becomes to lose those um, changes that you've made. So
Right. So
like
if you take a week off, like I just did recently, it's like if I took a week off a year ago because I've been doing it for like a few years, like the loss won't be as great because I've
right.
compounded more muscle technically or like fitness.
Yeah, like and just you're just more like resilient, like your tissues are
Yeah.
stronger. Yeah, so it's like if someone who trains for, really hard for, a month and then like they could lose all of that with like a week or two off.
Right.
But like if I take like a week off, like yeah, I'll get like a little less fit, but like I'll be able to get it back so quickly because it's like I have the base, the background,
So tell me
you know.
about if someone like travels frequently and they're like, okay, like I am gonna be in town in my home for like a full month. I'm gonna like work out like twice a day instead of like the normal like once a day that I have been doing. And the theory is to like overcompensate or like to compensate
Mhm.
for like
Yeah.
my inconsistent schedule. What like is that? Tell me about how like productive that is. You know what I'm saying?
Um, yeah, I mean, it can be like it depends like what you're
But
doing.
then, but sorry, but then the month after the 30 days, they'll be kind of like intermittently traveling or working out, or there's just not as much consistency.
I mean, I think there's like a benefit to that, whereas like when you have the time, you do more. So like for me, for example, like in the summers, I like these past few years, I usually have like more free time in the summer than from like September to June or May or whatever. So like this whole summer, I've been trying to work out like twice a day, every day, but I know I can like handle it. Like I know it's not something that I can't handle. So like there is like it's not a bad thing. I would say where it would be concerning is you're kind of treating it like binge drinking. It's almost
Right.
like it's healthy, obviously. Like if someone, but like if you don't have like a good base and like you go from doing very minimal and then you just go really really hard for like a month. What I see a lot is that people they'll burn out and they can't really keep it
Right.
up. So like I would rather someone do, let's just say like 30 minutes on the bike every single day for a year than, um, 1 month of two a days, 1 month off, and 1 month of two a days. I don't really have any like science to support that, but I think there's just something to the consistency, and then, you just kind of build over time. You
Yeah.
do 30 minutes a day for a month, and then go up to 40 minutes a day, and then you can apply that to weightlifting or really anything you want. So yeah, like you can definitely and like athletes will do this. Like they'll have what they call a overreaching phase. So like training is not like static throughout the year. Like if you have competitions in certain times of the year, the off season, like your training looks different. So like there's certain times of the year where let's say like a runner or a cyclist, they'll have like what they call a overreaching phase where they do like more than what they have been doing. I just had like miles per week, or something like that, and they'll really like push to their limit, and then you kind of recover from that and rest, and you bounce back even better. That's the idea.
Right.
So it's kind of like a concept like that. I would just, yeah, like you don't want to get into the habit of, I'm going to go really, really hard for like a month and then not do anything for a month. So like for someone who's traveling, like that's why like I really like running, because like when I am out like traveling, like I can always just go run. I just need shoes. Like there's
Right.
nothing that, and like that doesn't mean you have to run 40, 50 miles a week every week, but like it's like for me it's convenient to be able to like, you know I can go out and do like a hard 1 hour to 90-minute run, and like it can be like okay, like it's not like a huge shock to my system. So like I think it's kind of like if you're that kind of person and you like to run, I think that's a good option. But I heard that this one guy, Michael Joyner, he's like a famous physiologist at the Mayo Clinic, and he studies like exercise and all that stuff. And like he brings a jump rope everywhere he goes, which is very convenient. You just put it in your bag, and you can just do jump rope, push ups, squats, whatever. So yeah,
Right. So we polled the people and asked about questions that they had. So I kind of want to touch base on some of these questions, and then
let's
we'll
do it.
talk about other things in between. Okay, so
And just so the people know, so this is my first time hearing them.
it's a yes.
So don't, I'll try to give precise answers if I can, but if I get caught off guard, don't.
You'll be
Yeah.
fine. They won't
Okay.
cancel you. So a
Okay.
lot of people, I think, were hoping that this podcast was going to be in person because a lot of people were asking us to physically fight each other. A lot of like arm wrestling. Who's stronger?
Remember, remember when you drop kicked me when we were kids? No, you don't remember that?
No, remind me.
We like got in a fight. I think I was like 13, maybe. It's like before you moved. It's like right before you moved to California, and I just remember I like threw you on the couch, and like from like this the seated position, like you love to kick. That's like your thing, and you literally just drop kicked me in the chest. And I just fell on my ass.
Oh, wait, I think I do remember this.
I was like, wow,
Oh,
this
that's
dude just.
funny. That was probably our last physical altercation. I love that, like, I drop kicked a 13-year-old. Full, full child abuse.
Who
Anyway,
throws a kick?
you're
Honestly.
pissing me off, probably.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
But
we
yeah, let's
were
get
like,
into it.
which brother is stronger? Arm wrestle. Like they wanted us like a
Oh,
lot of stuff like that. One of those questions was from Uncle Naki, but a lot of people said that too. So
we can do
obviously
that.
not virtually.
No, I'm saying, I see you.
Yeah, okay. Stay tuned for that. For that. But one of the things, okay, the first question was how does eating more protein help with losing weight?
I guess there's like a few ways it could help. Like one, protein tends to be more like satiating.
This is from Seth,
So
by the way.
what?
This is from Seth, by the way, a former client.
Oh, so protein tends to be more satiating, um, which is one. So like if you were to eat a high protein breakfast compared to like, you know, a
Heavy
bagel
carbs.
and like a biscuit or like whatever else, like you probably would feel more full for longer. That's one. It helps you grow more muscle mass, obviously, and having more lean mass is conducive for body composition, having more lean mass. So it's like, I mean, losing fat and weight loss is essentially a calories in, calories out problem. Like, you could lose weight eating nothing but bread if you eat like 500 calories of bread per day. Like, yeah, like you obviously lose weight. So
Right.
like, but I think like to like lose weight in like a healthy way, and I'm not like a fat loss expert, um, but I think like a lot of people don't eat enough protein,
Mm.
and yeah, it's satiating. There's also this thing called like the thermic effect of food. So protein is kind of harder to break down, and that it costs energy to digest food.
Right.
So it costs you more energy to break down that compared to other foods. But that's kind of negligible. You know, it's not like a huge amount of calories it takes to do that. But yeah, like I would say, like a lot of it is just like replacing other, not so great foods with protein.
Protein.
Yeah, like I think people should eat. So like the RDA for protein, which
What's
is like the
RDA?
recommended dietary allowance, yeah, is 0.8 grams per kilogram of your body mass.
So if I weigh 165 pounds,
So yeah, you would divide that by 2.2. So you're around like 70 kilos, give or take. So that would mean you would eat, less than 70 grams of protein per day.
I would eat less than 70 grams of it's 75. So I would eat,
So zero point 0.8 times 75, whatever
oh,
that
point
math.
0.8.
So it's less than 75.
I see. So I would eat 60 grams of protein a day is my,
Yeah, so that is like, so like the RDA is basically like kind of like the minimum that you need to like survive.
so
Um,
sustain. And then if I want to like build muscle, then I would
no,
maybe,
I would say that RDA is like garbage. I would say it's way too low. I think like everyone should be eating, no matter what you're doing, like 1.2 to 1.6, probably closer to 1.6 grams per kg. And if you're weightlifting a lot and you're very active, I would say even up to 2 grams per kilogram, which is like a gram per pound.
okay, so let me just do the math. So I just as a simple math equation for everyone. So your
So for
weight,
you, I'd recommend you eat like around like 150 grams a day because you weight lift a lot and stuff like that.
that's wild. I definitely do not eat that much. I need to eat have
You
more.
might. And yeah, like the thing about protein is like you want to have, um,
Oh, wait, let me just do this math real quick. So your
okay.
weight divided by 2.2,
So that's just the conversion from pounds to kilograms.
right, to find out your kilograms. So your weight
Yeah.
divided by 2.2, and then times 2 is how much.
Yeah. I would say that would be like the upper limit, but that's what like a lot of people suggest that are very knowledgeable. And that's like if you're really active,
If you really
which
are.
I would consider you like, especially you're doing a lot of weightlifting and stuff like that, 5 or 6 days a week. Um, like you're working your muscles pretty hard. If you want to maximize muscle growth, um, yeah, I would get close to that.
Okay.
But like 1.6, I am confident that like that for sure. And
Okay.
then if you want to push it up to 2, and like, if you're off by like 5 grams or something,
Yeah.
you, you know,
So if you weigh
don't get too
165
crazy with it.
pounds and you're like if and you're doing 1.6 times the amount of your kilograms, it's 120 grams of protein a day.
And dude, that's super reasonable. Like,
Yeah.
so like, let's say like that sounds like a lot, but be like 4 ounces of beef, which is like a handful, um, and like not even like a huge handful. Like that might have like 25 grams. So just think like you have, 3 meals. That's like 40 grams per meal. Um, so that could be you know, you can do the math. Like let's say for breakfast, eggs are
Eggs.
about 6 grams each, 6 to 8 grams each. Let's just say they're six. You have 3 eggs, it's 18 grams. Cup of yogurt, it might be 15. That puts you at 30. And then, um,
Yeah.
something else. But like a lot of
You
people
take.
will, like a lot of people just find it easier for like one of those meals to just do like a protein shake, which I'd
Okay.
recommend for sure.
So, um, so what was I asking about pre-workout? I'm going to read this. Is that pre-workout? Is it pre-workout that gives you the tingly feeling good for you?
Um, yeah, I mean it's not bad. There's just like a certain ingredient in there
What is that?
that helps it. Beta alanine, pretty sure.
And why does that is it like a caffeine like is it a comparable to like a caffeine hit?
It's not. I mean, there's caffeine in there too. There's like a lot of stuff in them. Um, yeah, I'm not sure like the exact. I used to know this. I'm not sure like the exact reason why it happens, but like it's not harmful.
Okay.
Um, they've done like studies on it, and like it's actually a pretty good supplement in and of itself. But yeah, if you take a lot, there's just like a super stimulant. That's
Do you take pre-workout?
no. I just drink coffee really.
Yeah, same. I don't ever drink pre-workout.
I have, but um,
But is there any like nutritional benefit other than giving you energy to that to pre-workout?
I mean, it depends which one you got. There's some good ones out there. Like some of them will have like nitric oxide or arginine, which is like a precursor to nitric oxide, which helps with like blood flow.
Mm,
So you kind of like helps with like that muscle pump that you get.
right.
Um, but yeah, like they pretty much all have caffeine, creatine, usually beta alanine, and arginine, or so. I mean, you can look on the label
Yeah.
and just see what they have. But yeah, like generally they're a stimulant and something that tries to increase blood flow and just give you like a good pump when you're weightlifting. Um, I don't really take them just because I don't like to be like reliant on it.
Right.
You know, I mean, I drink coffee and caffeine and stuff, but not like you know overdosing.
I know. I feel
And
like it's like that analogy, like if you like overcharge your phone becomes more like it loses battery
yeah,
faster. So I feel like the same kind of thing. Like if you like become reliant on pre-workout, then like your base level will want it free to perform.
yeah.
But
And like I'm not saying like it's a bad thing to take it. Like I like a lot of people do it. Like I think it's fine. Like if you don't drink coffee or energy drinks or other things, and like you want to do that, I mean, go for it. I probably wouldn't do it like at night, just like sleep reasons. And
yeah,
um, but yeah, I would like for my personal preference, I would just use it like sparingly. When you have like a long day, or like let's say you want to go in the gym and like max out for like a 3 rep squat, like as much as you can do, and you really want to get fired up, and you want every advantage you can get. Like yeah, go ahead and do it. But it's like you don't want to become like a junkie for pre workout, in my opinion.
yeah,
But like it's also not like a bad thing. Just don't overdo it like anything else. Like there's nothing in there that is necessarily bad for your
yeah.
health, but there's some that have been like some brands. So it's kind of hard to speak on it in general.
Okay.
But yeah.
What are some? I just have a really good. Oh, I was gonna say, what you're talking about sleep. What is like? How important is sleep? Do you think? Like, what?
So, I mean, it's really important. Yeah. So like sleep is the one thing in my life that I probably don't have fully optimized. Um, and It's important, man. Like, like all you got to do is just have like a 4 hour night of sleep and just see how you feel and
Oh,
perform.
right, because the answer is not well.
Um, and like sometimes like you'll be fine, but I think we all know what it feels like to be running on low amounts of sleep. And um, so sleep, I mean, like poor sleep is really bad for testosterone. It's when you like reset.
Yeah.
Like brain health. Like part of the reasons that you sleep is you kind of like clear out some metabolites and things that kind of build up in your brain throughout the day. It's really bad for like metabolic syndrome and metabolic health. So like there's a really cool study, like they put people, I think on like 4 hours of sleep for like a week or
Mm.
something. And they did this test to look at um, how well they metabolize sugar. So they give like each person like a fixed amount of sugar, and then they draw blood periodically, and then you see how much is in your blood. So someone who's very fit will take that up into the muscle more, whereas like a diabetic, it'll hang around in the blood longer because they're resistant to the effects of insulin. So when you put people on healthy people for 4 hours of sleep for a week, they have this test done and like they look diabetic. Like the results look diabetic. Like they don't actually have
Oh, I
diabetes,
see what you're saying.
but like it has like effects like that are detrimental. And just like even performance wise, just extra sleep, man, just makes you feel better. And like if you look at pro athletes like runners and stuff like that, NBA players, like you just hear them talk about like they really just love their sleep.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people like will say that these like Jamaican sprinters are just very lazy because like when they're not training,
Oh, they're
all
sleeping.
they do is just sleep because like they train so much, but like they really value sleep. And every athlete that I've heard of who's very, trains a lot, like they all are like really big on sleep. Um, and there's like a bunch of other things. I'm not like a sleep
No,
expert, but I would just, try and get like your 7 to 8 hours and wake up at like the same time every day.
it's been safe.
And there's like a bunch of other stuff like, don't be exposed to light late at night. Don't be on your phone, computer late, trying to eat late, all that kind of stuff.
Somebody asked what your best brother memory is. Do you want to talk about that? There's so many.
Um, I don't know, man.
That's okay.
Um, what do you think?
Of mine of you?
Yeah.
Um, well, I probably have more memories of you just because I'm older. Like you know what I mean? Like it's funny
Yeah.
how like
There's the math coming in.
but isn't it funny how like I truly do like will always have more memories of you because you don't remember when you were like born.
Yeah. Yes.
Hmm.
That is indeed true. I think one of my favorite recent stories was when I sent you that thing on Instagram of remember like the birthday thing?
Wait, yeah, but
And I
I
sent it
forget what
it was it was like this video of this dumbass girl. And I'm sorry to like say it there, but like this was like a really dumb thing. And I forget what it was. It's like if you add like the year you were born and like the
oh.
year it is, like you get your age, and it's like no shit, like because you've been.
No. The way in which it was phrased was very
I
was
had to find
very
the exact like example, but you were like, no way, and I was like sending it to you as like this girl's so dumb, like ha ha ha, and you were like, that's so crazy.
I
I was like,
will I'll try and insert it here.
I have a question. Yeah. I saw this online today And I don't think it's true because I tried your birthday and how old you are, and maybe I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I saw online today that everybody, if you add your year and how old you are, it comes out to 2023 today. So,
Wait,
What?
Rhea, what?
I saw this online today.
Are you joking though? Like, are you being? Of course, the year you were born and the age that you are, you add those together, you get the current year that we're in. It doesn't work for me because my month hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
It's literally how age works.
Okay, well, whoever put this on their story acted like it was like the craziest thing in the world. And I was sitting in the car typing in all these. I was like, I typed in yours and I was like, wait, why isn't France working?
Oh my god.
Because I haven't turned 29 yet, but once I do, it'll work.
I don't feel good right now about this at all.
Oh my god, that's really funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Like we have a lot of memories, man.
I know there's so many.
When I asked that guy at the Red Robin for the Chardonnay, I was 10.
And he asked for your ID. That was such a good joke, and he really just
He killed it.
right over his head. Oh, where you went like this? You're like, I'll have the Chardonnay with like your finger in the air. Oh.
It was like noon, and I was like, literally was like 12.
Oh, that's funny.
I feel like when you came up here for Christmas, we had some funny shit happen.
Like last year.
Yeah, I remember it was so cold and windy.
These wins.
Yeah,
That was fun.
oh yeah, when you started dropping the burrito, it was just. You remember? All right, yeah, that's enough. I don't know. We have a lot of memories, and no one else will really think they're funny besides us. So
That's true. Mom said who wins most of the arguments.
um,
I feel like you are more impassioned.
I'm more persistent. You just give up. You're like, oh, okay, here he goes.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I just like to, I just like to
Argue.
It's not even like I like to argue. I just like having conversations. And like I guess sometimes it comes off as
You're like a
but I just like the back and forth. Like I just enjoy it. But I don't mean it in like a malicious way. But I can see how sometimes it might come off like that. But
I mean, there's no winning. It's just
I mean, I win, definitely.
Okay. Okay. Someone asked, "What are some tips for novice lifters?" Maybe like your 3 tips for like a novice lifter.
Like never lifted before.
When I said the word novice, it sounded like I had a speech impediment, like a novice nervous lifter, a novice lifter. All right, go on.
3 tips.
Yeah, if you never, or you just like want to get back in or into it, or like, I think. Well, go ahead, you can do yours, but I think one is like don't be afraid to look dumb in the gym lifting light weight, because you always said like that form is so important that like.
And dude, like most people in the gym, like like a lot of people have told me that they feel like intimidated to do certain things. Like if I tell you like, go bring these dumbbells over to like the dip bar and do like this circuit, because like it's like not like set up for that. You're just kind of doing it and you're like, yo, I feel like I'm in someone's way. I'm just like, most people in the gym are like pretty like cool. Like no one like, yeah, there's like some douchebags everywhere, but like people aren't gonna like make fun of someone for like
Trying to work out.
lifting, like they most people will like appreciate that people are there. Like I don't really, I just like if someone is doing something, like I never am like, oh wow, that kid's so weak. Like I never,
Right.
it doesn't even, like no
I
one is like thinking that, but like I know like a lot of people might have that impression.
and I think it dissipates the more you are in the gym and like the longer you do it. Like
Yeah,
really
like you get more
consistently.
comfortable.
You don't
You
care
start
as
to see
much.
more people that you know. Yeah, and it's just like you just do your thing. Like who cares? And like even if they do think that, like who cares?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, like it doesn't matter. Like you're doing like your thing, and like so yeah, that's a good one. Just don't be and like don't be afraid to ask. Like a lot of people would like if you said like, oh, like how do I do this? Like people are pretty nice in there. Like if you talk
Yeah.
to them, like I've like rarely like had a problem with someone, you know, being like a really mean person in the gym.
Yeah.
Like people are very. I mean, that's just my experience.
I think you're right. I think that if I was like working out and someone said like, "Hey, like, can you like spot me or can you like show me like that thing that you just did because I might want to try that." I'd be like, "Yeah." Like I don't, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, like don't be afraid to like if someone like if you need to be spotted on like a bench press.
Mhm.
I've never seen someone ask for a spot and the person said no.
Right.
It has never happened. I don't think.
Yeah.
And like
And you can
like
make them your
people,
friend.
yeah, and you meet someone like I've met like so many people doing that, and like they don't care how much weight you're doing, like so yeah, like that's a good one. Just kind of getting over the fear, which like I get it because like there's people in there that have been doing this like 20 years and like they're in there and like you can tell like they're jacked and but yeah, just like I think it's more inviting than it might lead on. I would say like don't do too much to start and like so this is kind of like what we were saying before, like you go from nothing to like twice a day. you
Mm.
know um I would just like 3 days a week is a good place to start, and then just start like very basic. Like if you've done nothing, like something is better. Like you don't even have to like go do squats. You just go do like a leg press machine, leg extensions, shoulder press machine. Like stick with machines first
Right. Until you get
because
like,
you can't get hurt, and like they'll still like when you're first starting, anything you do is going to like work as far as get you stronger.
mm,
Like if you've done nothing, like everything will help. So like don't get caught up in like, oh, I need to go do like barbell squats and all this stuff. It's like no, just like just get familiar, start doing some stuff. Like you're gonna get sore probably like when you first start. And yeah, just don't do yeah. I guess that's two.
yeah.
The third one.
Don't do too much. Don't do too much in frequency and don't do too much. This was kind of blended with what I said the first time, but don't do too much weight. Like make sure your form is good.
Yeah. And like that just might um yeah, I would like that's where like a coach can help. Just like teach you. And I'm not trying to like plug myself, but like I don't remember how I learned how to squat. Um I just kind of like learned on my own. Like I'm sure the first time I did it was like not good. And I just, just being in there all the time, watching videos, like seeing what a good squat looks like. But yeah, just always start easier. Like do
Yeah.
box squats first, you know.
Oh yeah.
Um, like there's so many types of squats you can do like before you get to like a barbell squat. And like you just don't move on to something like until you're ready. Um,
Right. Those are good.
Eat enough protein.
Truly, like like eating protein, because then I think once you like, you could do the calories in, calories out thing where you could go lift and like eat a donut, right? But as long as you're still burning more than you're consuming, like you're gonna lose weight. But I think that if you start eating better starting out, you you'll see results quicker, and it might make motivate you to keep doing it. Do you know what I mean? Because you're seeing the results, and you don't want the results to.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, protein is just super important. It's like the one nutrient that you can't live without.
yeah,
Like you can go zero carb or zero fat and you'd be okay. But like if you go zero protein, it's like you're gonna wither away to nothing. Um, yeah. So yeah, it was kind of like long winded, but yeah, just like don't be nervous, ask questions, you know, um, do what you know that you can do, and
push yourself when you feel like you can.
yeah, and
Yeah,
yeah, so that's the biggest. Like this is actually like a fourth or fifth, whatever we're on, but like the biggest thing I see, and like I don't know so much in like younger people, but is failing to like progress. So
plateau.
yeah, so failing to enhance the difficulty or the weight of, and like I just remember um, just people that I've heard, older people in our family, like they'll just be like, yeah, I went in the gym, I benched 100 pounds, 3 sets of 10, and like that's what, like they've been doing that for 20 years.
Right.
And it's like you're not like yeah, like you're exercising, which is good, but from like a strength muscle perspective, like it's like you're doing nothing. But like it is better than not doing it.
So wait,
But I think okay, sorry. Go
there
ahead.
is a point where like you can't, where you physically are unable to do more. Like there's going to be at that point, right? Right. Let's say you start training when you're 18. By the time
Mhm.
you get to be 40, like your body can't lift 800 pounds, can't bench 800 pounds, right? So like
Mhm.
what do you do when you feel like you have been working out like consistently for a long period for years or decades? Like how do you keep your workouts fresh and still build muscle?
Yeah, so that's like building muscle and strength are different.
Okay.
So they tend to go hand in hand, but you can build a lot of muscle without getting really strong per se.
Oh, right.
You'll still get strong, but like if you look at how bodybuilders train and then how like powerlifters train, who like their whole sport is strength, whereas a bodybuilder's whole sport is like they don't care
How
how much
strong
they
you are.
lift. Like
Right.
they do lift a lot just because they're so massive, like the like elite males, and
Yeah.
but so yeah, you can. I forget what the question was.
So it's like
Oh,
when
okay, if you plateau, yeah. So how to stay. So like one thing is like pick new goals, and this is like I heard this guy Mark Bell say this. He's like a strength coach, weightlifter, and like he'll just like let me see how much weight I can do for 15 reps on incline dumbbell bench.
hmm,
Like what's my max on that? So like most people like they just think of like bench, squat, and deadlift because there's like the three big like movements. But just be like, I'm gonna train for how much weight I can do for 15 reps on incline bench, or just pick anything, and like that can kind of like motivate you more because you're like wow, I don't know what my 10 rep PR is on barbell split squats,
but that like
if that makes sense. Like it just kind of keeps
it
it.
does, but like that is an achievable like thing after one day in the gym, right? So if it's like, I
Well,
guess,
no.
no,
Well,
because
you go.
if you did that, then you would try and best it like the next time you do that.
Well,
Or
yeah, like you would then like train to get better at that
I see.
thing. It's just like an example. Like you can just kind of like play games in the
Right.
gym and like and in like running or cycling, like I want to see how fast I can run 300 meters. Just like no one in the world besides like a track athlete knows how fast they can do that. But like it just kind of like gives you more ideas to play with, and
Yeah.
um, like if that makes sense. So like you're gonna plateau, and the more fit that you get, the less the improvements are, if that makes sense.
Right. So you're really just doing it to maintain your plateau. You're working out.
Um, I don't know. I wouldn't. I think you're putting too much emphasis on this like plateau.
I'm
Um,
just thinking like from a strength perspective, like you're not going to be able to lift a car unless you know what I mean.
yeah, but dude, you have no one like has to worry. No average person has to worry about that because like they're
No, I
so
know,
far off from that.
but I'm saying like just like when you plateau, like what do you do like with the rest of your life as a fitness to train? Do you know what I mean? It's like maybe it's
Dude,
more
like
like
you never get to the point where you're like, I mean, like, yeah, maybe with like aging, like when you get to be, 50, like you're probably not going to be breaking your PRs in certain things.
but
So
if
like,
I'm
if that's the plateau that you mean, then like that's just
well, no,
aging.
I guess I'm saying if it's I'm like 30, I'm 35, so let's just say yeah, I guess aging helps, but let's just say I reach my peak at 38. But then to your point of like, you could still be a very fit like 42-year-old. So like what am I
Mhm.
going to do from 38 to 42 that I'm just like I want to maintain that my peak, right? So until I start to like well no. I mean I want to maintain that peak. So like what do I do? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I think that most people will not hit their true
Peak.
peak. I would, people don't train hard enough in
Is
general
there
to hit their true peak.
is
Like,
there an objective peak or is
no,
it
I
just
think
dependent on the
it's like
person?
there's no like I can't like do an equation and say like you once you squat 400 pounds, there's no way you'll ever squat
Or 10.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's no way you can like someone can know that
Yeah.
prior, and like there probably is like I will probably never be able to run a 13-minute 5K, or I'll probably not ever be able to squat 600 pounds. Like maybe, but like I mean, like naturally, not without drugs. Like I just don't, just like stuff like that. But yeah, like everyone has their. I just don't think people, I don't know, like this peak that you speak of. I don't think that the average person that we're dealing with is really pushing those limits. Like the people that are like really at their peak are like the elite athletes,
Right.
like, and they know they're at their peak because their training is dialed in. They've been doing it for years. They've tried everything, and like their performances just aren't getting better,
Yeah.
faster, stronger. It's just kind of a thing that happens. You're like, I've done all I could. And yeah, I would say more people don't reach their true potential than do. But if you do hit a plateau, like plateaus are different than your true physical peak, if
Right.
that makes sense. Like everyone's going to plateau, and yeah, you just have to keep doing it. Like this guy Andrew Flatt, I used to work with in Georgia. He's a big power lifter, and he's big into research and exercise science. But he was telling me that he's like, yeah, when you hit a plateau, like let's say you squat 225 for 10 pounds, and like you literally like you're stuck there. Like you can't go up any weight. And what he told me is like just keep doing it for 10 reps week after week. Just do more sets. And he was like, it has to get easier
Yeah.
eventually.
It has
Like by definition, like it has to. And like, so yeah, you can like do more sets. Just like volume is such a big thing, which is like just doing more reps and sets.
right. Okay.
So yeah, like there's different like ways to get over plateaus. I think it would like kind of get too in depth for this. But if people want to know about it, I'd be happy to send them some stuff or
DM, yeah.
yeah. Um,
The last question I think is just like, and you kind of touched on it briefly about just like working out when you're traveling. I think that's such a very relatable thing for people to know. So like, is it
sure.
bringing a jump rope, and like what are the things that'll actually like, or maybe the question is like, can you actually advance like or become more fit when you are traveling, or are you really just trying to maintain, or is all you can do really just to maintain kind of where you are?
No, I think you can definitely get more.
And what are like the
Yeah.
top exercises that you would say?
Um, well, I mean, it just depends like what you're. So like weightlifting wise, you probably are a little limited unless you just find a gym
Right.
in the town. And I know like a lot of people that do that that are really into weightlifting and like when they go travel, they just find a gym because like hotel gyms, you know, once you're a certain strength, you know, it's there's usually not enough there to, and they usually don't have like barbells and things like that. Um, so yeah, like probably weightlifting wise, you're just kind of maintaining, but then or for strength, I would say if you're just trying to like muscle mass, you know, you can take any weight and just go to failure. Um, so there's like a lot of new evidence. This is like a kind of like a controversy at the moment, but it's like if you do, let's say you do 100 pounds on bench press to failure, and it takes you 20 reps to get there. But then you do 150 pounds to failure, and it takes you 10 reps. Um, the effect on like growing muscles the same. So like training to failure. So like training with low weights, as long as you go to true failure, it doesn't really matter which weight you use. So like that's a way that you can kind of still maintain. And then there's different strategies like blood flow restriction training. You can use light weights and gain muscle. But like for like endurance stuff, I mean, traveling, the only thing that really limits you is like if you're not eating right or you know jet lag and stuff like that. But like if you're like a runner, um, you can do any running workout anywhere in the world, I would think. So I don't. You'd mainly just be limited just by the time spent not recovering and going through airports and not relaxing as much. But as far as like the workouts themselves, if you can set aside the time,
And they would be like, let's just say like you don't have access to a gym, right? It would be like running is a good workout.
or like if you bring a jump rope and just, you know, you can do a circuit of jump rope, body weight squats, push ups, you know,
Abs.
lunges, abs, you know, jump squats. Yeah, you can definitely make it's just not like ideal. Like it's hard to say. You kind of ask these like impossible questions that that they don't have like one answer.
No, but
Um,
it's just trying to be like a guide. You know what I mean? Like a guide, it's like a simple guide that someone can follow that like,
yeah, and it like depends how much you're traveling too. Like if it's like yeah, it's going to be hard to get more fit if you're, you know, 6 months of the year you're on the road.
right.
But like you can, it's just not you probably won't make as much gains as you would if you weren't traveling and you had
Right.
like a dialed in schedule at
That's a good
home
way
and
of
you're
saying
on yeah. So yeah.
it. Right. Where can people find you?
Let's see, I'm on Instagram at SBL Systems and my name, 2 underscores, Sean Langan. What else? I'm on Twitter a little bit, not as much. Yeah, and then I have a Substack. People should subscribe.
Oh yes, tell us about your sub back.
So the Substack is like I really just like writing, and
So like,
yeah, there's no really. It's basically just me, and I just think of an idea, and I just write about it. Usually, it's like highlighting maybe like a research study and like trying to translate it
that's
as best as I can, or just like topics I hear about and just want to write about it. It's just good to kind of have some stuff out there to.
we should also say that you've been published recently.
Oh yeah, more. I've yeah. Oh, and the New Yorker.
The New Yorker.
Yeah. Since our first interview that we did,
Yeah.
um, I've been interviewed more. So I hope that my skills are better during this one.
Oh, oh,
But yeah, so like where I work is like really big into like heat stroke and the effects of like high temperatures. So every summer we basically get just boatloads of calls to our office
yeah.
from magazines, people that want to write a story on the heat and health and stuff like that. And my boss like can't do them all, and some he's just like, yeah, it'd be like you can take this, or but
Just
it's
the
kind
New
of
Yorker.
well, that one was different. He did get interviewed for that. I was just in the video, but yeah, like there's like a lot of so I think was like interviewed for the Insider a few times on like sweat, electrolytes, heat stroke. Who else? There was a recent one called The Messenger. This was like a few weeks ago. They did a little story.
Wow, you're very Googleable these days.
Yeah, I mean it's cool, and I mean I can't say that like it's because of who I am. Like it's literally just because um, of where I work and my boss. He looks out, and he kind of provides us with you know chances to do things like that he doesn't need to do anymore, kind of thing.
It's
He
really
takes like the big fish. He takes like the big stuff. Like HBO came and did a thing in our lab in
weird.
December, and obviously like he's all over that. He's not going
No,
to put me on HBO, and I
not yet.
don't. I don't think he should have either.
Not yet.
But
You know, it must be very annoying for you because there is. I just tried Googled you. There's a British
yeah,
journalist. He's really getting in there too. He goes like like war zones, and is taking up all the hits on Google.
yeah, he got kidnapped by the Taliban.
Yeah. Is he okay?
I don't know, but it's kind of good. Like part of me like doesn't want to be found a little bit, so I think it's kind of nice because
That's very daddy of you. Like dad.
like that'll remain
Right.
forever. Like I will never probably become more famous than that guy. Maybe I will. Actually, yeah, I might at some point, but I don't know.
I believe in
Uh,
you.
it's really unfortunate though. Like that picture popped up was like a selfie of him with like the gray hair. I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he
Kidnapped.
is.
Kidnapped.
Yeah,
Kidnapped.
like back in like 2006 or something. Yeah, man. But yeah, so the Substack, I just like to write, and I'm getting better at it. I feel like sometimes
I'm
it's a
featured
little
in a
more.
Substack article. In a Substack
You
article.
are, you are. Um, some of the concepts I feel like some lay people don't understand, but I try to like toss in some that are more simple, and it's hard to do. Like I give good journalists like props, like people that write stories. It's hard.
You do. You
Especially
do.
like translating science stuff is very hard in like
Yeah.
digestible language.
Yeah. No, you are good at it. That's for sure.
Thanks, buddy.
Um, Now I'm Googling myself to see what comes in. Hold on.
You got some. You got Kyle Langan, the Vogel Group. You see him?
Yeah. He needs to go.
He's got a mitt on him, dude. That sucks. Nah, but you're up there.
I'm
Oh, your
higher than him.
TikToks come up.
I know, isn't that embarrassing? But I am higher than him.
Oh,
Right.
are you?
I think what's the first hit you get when you type in Kyle Langan?
Is the other the Vogel Group.
No.
And then there's KyleJLangan.com, I think is
Okay.
yours.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I should get a website.
The Vogel Group is the first hit? God, my cookies must be tricking me into thinking that I'm more popular than I am.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
What's one thing that just really you just can't figure out the answer to? Like something that like perplexes you about
How you can subtract the day in your birthday to find out what year it is. um, no, I don't think, fitness wise, I don't think there's anything that perplexes me. Yeah, I feel like I've been in more like for maybe past couple months, I've been in kind of in a more like just rote, like do it. Like I haven't probably been pushing myself as much as I used to or would want to, but I don't know, like fall is like I get so inspired in the fall. Like from September to December, I am like laser focused on being like motivated to like do a lot of stuff. Like work things, like brand like writing, like gym, like all kinds of stuff. So I feel like I'm really like locking into my golden season. Because like in the summer, I just wanna
party.
Yeah.
It's fine, dude. Like I'm not trying to be like, don't have any fun and exercise all the time. But dude, I just like exercise is just like it's the shit, dude. You get in
like doing it.
Yeah, like especially you just get in like a zone. Like I love the feeling of just like being like locked in on
And
like a nice day, dude. It's like the best.
I hate talking to people in the gym. Like I am so like in the zone of like what I'm
Cool.
doing.
So you just threw a wrench in my whole thing about the novice person about people being nice in the gym.
Oh. I'm not a
You literally said like 20 minutes ago, you're like, yeah, I would love to talk to somebody and help them out. You're such a scum.
Whatever.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like I just like am so like I guess I just don't want to have like a convert. Like I don't go like some people go to the gym to like socialize. Like I'm happy to help someone, but like I don't want to like I got other stuff to
for sure. Like if people, it's like like I'll spot you. Like are you done with that? But yeah, I'm not
trying to spend like 2 hours like and just like talk to someone after every set. Like that is not efficient.
Yeah. Like that's why for me, I don't really like. I haven't really been lifting as much. I do like a lot of my stuff outside.
Yeah,
just alone, desolate. It's great though, dude. I just love getting in like the flow state, locking in.
Yeah,
it's the best feeling in the world.
Good for your mental health. We didn't really talk about that, but
it is good for your. I mean, I think it's very good. There's like research on that, but yeah, I just think like anecdotally, it's one of the best things you can do for your mental health.
I agree, and my legs are very sore because I worked out yesterday. So thank you.
Yeah, maybe go hop in the sauna, something. Stretch a little bit, get loose.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me today.
No problem, man.